Welcome back to Game Galaxy, and today I'm talking about Bob on the Sega Genesis, or B.O.B. Not the rapper, but the awesome alien robot. Bob is an amazing run-and-gun platformer that came out in 1993, and this is one of those Genesis games that had an odd-shaped, larger cartridge, and I'm not sure what the reason for that was. Maybe it had a special kind of chip inside that helped the game run better. I'm not sure, don't quote me. And I've got a bunch of stickers on here because I bought this from that same mom and pop shop that went out of business all those years ago, that a lot of my Genesis games are from. But I have loved this game for many, many years. The setup for the game shows Bob getting lectured by his father to be home by 11 as you're on your way to pick up your girlfriend in your father's car. While driving, Bob crashes his dad's car and you crash land on a nearby asteroid that is filled with enemies and complexes. This game is so fun and it plays very much like a Mega Man game, but definitely has its own charm. Each of the levels are timed labyrinths to get to the end of the level, and along the way Bob will pick up a variety of weapons and gadgets to help fight his way off the asteroid to get to his girlfriend. The main feature of this game that drew me to it all those years ago was the amount of gadgets Bob had to use in his arsenal, like the springboard platforms that launch him up in the air, and my personal favorite, the helicopter. Here's a little secret for your first time playing this game. At the end of each level, there are some swirly stars that notate the end of the level. At the end of the very first level you play, don't go into it. Stand right next to those swirly stars and use all three of your springboard power-ups to launch you through the ceiling and up into a secret room that has every power-up and every gadget that Bob can use. So you'll be able to start the game fully powered up and ready to go. Different weapons are best for different situations, and I usually find myself being pretty conservative with ammo. However, there usually is enough pickups around that you shouldn't run dry. The Flamethrower is super effective against bug creatures and will burn right through them. The most useful and versatile weapon is the three-way shot. The rockets home in on the nearest target, and there's this wave gun that absolutely decimates everything in its path, and you should definitely save that as much as you can because it will decimate the very first boss in just one shot. You have to play it safe though and practice your skills, because if you die in a stage, you lose all of your weapons and gadgets and start with just the single shot 50 bullets. So it's a real bummer if you die. If you take your time and play smart, you shouldn't have any issues. Although as you progress, the levels become much more difficult, but the difficulty curve raises pretty consistently and smoothly, so by the time things are getting really rough, you've had plenty of time to hone your skills. The shooting feels great, but you don't have full 8-direction shooting. Bob can shoot left and right and straight up. Being able to diagonally shoot would have really been nice like Contra, but you only get left or right and up. The jumping aspect of the platforming can be something that takes getting used to, and it's a little bit clunky and unresponsive. It definitely isn't Super Mario World. This game has some amazing sound effects, and my favorite sound effect is when you're hanging on to something and moving your way across by moving your fingers really fast. Isn't that just the best noise? This game has about 45 levels, and they reuse the same backgrounds and art for a lot of them, but the level design and overall gameplay keeps it all really fun up until the very end. As we come to the end here, I just want us to go ahead and take a look at that box art. I've said time and time again that I love the old artwork of old video games. I think it's just so fantastic. Bob also was released for Super Nintendo and on the PSP as a part of the EA Replay compilation disc. So I really recommend this as it's a very charming action platformer. And thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the future, and go fight your way through aliens and robots to get your dream girl.